And I want to tell you my love story, our love story, myself and my wife. How did I get here? Why am I so passionate about helping you um, impact your marriage as a man? Why am I so passionate about helping families and getting them on track? Why do I believe so much in marriage? Someone sent me an email, asked me the question, how do you know that I can get back with my wife that we are separated? And for me, it's so easy because you got her the first time. If you are that man that she believed she was getting married to the first time, she's gonna come to you again. The reason why she left you or she's separated from you is because she discovered that you are not the person that she thought she was marrying, and more than that, she knows right now that she's not safe. She doesn't feel safe with you, and her children don't feel safe too. She doesn't believe that her interaction with you is safe for her children. She believes that her negative energy, her sadness, negatively impacts her children. Not that she feels that you will hurt the children. No, she knows that you most likely will not hurt the children. What she is worried about is that her lack of energy, her fear of you, disconnection from you is rubbing off on the children negatively. Negatively. So that I have confidence that wherever you are, whatever your story is, with the help of God and with agape, the love of God that is poured out in our hearts, you can transform any marriage. Okay, so today I'm going to share my story, share some of the blessings that I've got as a married person. This year makes 20 years that we have been married, and it is getting better every year. I'm so glad that the Lord that blessed me with my wife Olu, and we have two boys doing well. Uh, Two teenagers right now, and it's a joy. It's a joy to see what a loving atmosphere can do in the lives of children, especially when that loving atmosphere is the love of God. We are a witness to it, and we continue to watch God move in the lives of these ones so that we can continue to give him praise. All right. So let's start from the beginning. We got married in 2004. 2004. Before that, we had been friends since 1998ish. I think 97. Maybe we started just friends, being friends. We were in the same university, and in 2000 I left for Canada to do my master's in electrical engineering in Montreal, Canada. And then we stayed for 4 years apart, and in those 4 years we grew and matured. I began to see things differently. She saw things differently, and we still love each other. We talked, but we began to connect with other people as friends, and our circle of friends became a little bit different. Now, all of this impacted our relationship when we started to when we got married, because now before then our friends were similar, and because we went to the same university. But as we grew apart for 4 years and we matured, we began to connect with others, and we connected with people who we could get married to. In other words, we had connections that could have impacted our relationship, but we thank God that it didn't. We navigated through all that process and stayed together. We didn't break up anytime throughout the relationship, but we struggled. And thank God we stayed true to what God planned, and we got married. But the first 2 years were very different than what we're experiencing now. They were still good, they were still relatively good, but then I didn't think that they were good. I now say they're good because experience other people's relationships as a counselor, as a coach, as a pastor. I've heard so many more stories, and I interacted with so many more people who have had it even worse. And so I said they were relatively good, but there were two major problems that we had then in our first couple of years as a married couple. They were, number one, um, we didn't know how to express the pain that the other person was experiencing. In other words, we knew that I knew that my wife wasn't doing well. She wasn't enjoying some of the things that she was experiencing in the marriage, and I was trying my best, but I didn't know how to understand or express my understanding of what she was feeling, and she didn't understand how to express what she was feeling, what she thought I was feeling either. And the second one was that we didn't even know how to express our own feelings properly, you know. So I didn't know how to express my feelings perfectly the way I wanted to, the way I can now. Not only did I not know, I didn't understand the value and the power of just expressing it the way it is. And my wife also, she has grown in her ability to understand what she's feeling and express it, and also try to understand what I was experiencing. And in all of that mix, there's also the ability to understand what we are dealing with, the real problem. We didn't know what the real problem was. We didn't understand that our lenses are colored. Our lives, the way we read life, we operated in life, were already colored by the emotions and experiences we had before. So when we would interact, I would be trying to do one thing or help her grow, protect her, and I'm expecting her to be appreciative of the love that I thought I was providing, but then she was seeing it as controlling, or seeing it as not understanding her, or seeing it as just trying to put her down. And those were exactly how anyone will feel when they're not asking for your help and you're just rushing in to help them, from your own point of view. And so it was difficult. And when she would try to express herself and express her feelings and her thoughts, she already she already had this idea that I don't care of to hear her voice, and so it was difficult, just to say the least. And what brought it on around, what made things change, was because at some point I figured that this is never going to end if we don't do something about it. um I will be doing what I believe was good for her, and she'll be complaining and she'll be not feeling it because I didn't know how to understand how she felt. I couldn't read that, and I didn't know how to ask. I didn't have the skills that I have now, and I didn't have the tools with which to endure some of the things that she's saying and allow her to say it until I got it. I didn't have those skills. What I had was, let me just keep doing. Let me just keep trying my best. So I don't know if you're feeling like that. Maybe you're trying your best as you know it as a man to make your marriage work. You're working hard, thinking that if I can make more money, my wife is going to like me more. If I can respect me more, if I can provide vacations and give her beautiful, expensive gifts, she'll respect me more and will connect more. And you're doing that as it's not working. That's exactly how I was. Not that I was making more money than her, or just more to bless her, but I was doing my best. I was working hard to keep things going. I was spending time in the place of prayer. We were building a church together, and I was trying my best to protect her from any wrong decisions. Mind you, I've been in Canada for 4 years before her, and I thought that it was my role to make sure that she doesn't make mistakes. But no, that didn't work, and it will never work for anyone. This is not how to operate. You gotta trust that every adult has their own mind and they're smart enough to navigate their path, and they're smart enough to ask you for help if they need help, and they are smart enough to understand that you have help available should they need it. This is how you present. I didn't know all of that. I was too there were so too many things going on in my heart that needed to be dealt with so that I can help. I can be more. I can be wiser in my way to help. So if you are in that same position, you're there bewildered that okay, I've been doing my best for the last 10 years for this marriage because I know that happens. You may not have had a problem like I did earlier in my marriage, year one, year two, but you may have started having a problem in year three, and on till now. She's getting fed up. She's now saying 10 years down the line, I don't like what you're doing. You really abused me mentally. You have stressed me. Now I'm afraid to speak up. I'm not myself, and I don't like what I feel, and maybe I prefer to go on my own. You may find that. I've seen that happen over and over again. If that is the case, then what I'm going to share with you will help you. But then you may understand how I felt then, because I was doing my best. Most times, most men just assume that if they just do their role as the provider, the marriage would automatically work. That's how I was too. I thought if I provide and I invest my energy and time in providing, keeping everybody safe, the marriage will work. No, 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 no. There are two areas that you must also add your investment. It is in the connection between both of you and the connection with God. If you don't do those, you're going to struggle. Now, you may do connection with God because you are a Christian, but if you don't still invest in your connection with one another, it will still have a problem. And that's where I was struggling. I didn't know how to invest properly in that connection. I tried my best the way I knew how, until one day I felt that if I allowed this to continue, it would never end. I needed help. What did I do? I got help. I called one of the pastor friends, a woman who knew me well, and I asked her to please come. We have a problem. I didn't wait for my wife to call a counselor. She didn't know many people in Canada anyway. So I called this woman and I told her that there's something my wife is trying to say that I don't get. Because I'm doing my best. I'm doing everything I know. I think that I'm doing what she's asking for. I think that I've heard her, but I must not be hearing because no matter what I do, it's not working for her. It's not working for her. She wasn't the one that complained. She's not a complaining type. You can just see her get angry, get quiet, and she's not happy. And so that day was the turning point. It changed my whole life, and I pray that you will get the same thing and be transformed today. So that day we got this pastor friend of ours, Pastor Kemi, and she came and she shared with us. To tell you the truth, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember exactly what she said. I can't even remember exactly the problem we were trying to solve. I can't even remember what my wife said when she said, okay, tell me the problem. I cannot remember. But one thing I remember very well, and it will stay with me for the rest of my life, is that I don't need to worry about my wife if I worry about myself. Oh my goodness. That changed my whole life. If I work on me to be that kind of man that any woman would appreciate, then she would automatically respond to that. And while she was saying that, that's how the Lord poured him out. If you learn to love like Jesus, she would be attracted to Jesus in you. Oh my. It changed my whole story, changed my life. It made me to become more inclusive. Did I know all the skills? No, it just made me to say, okay, how can I be that man? Because I've been trying, but it seems that I wasn't getting it because in my trying, I was trying to please her. I was trying to do what she wanted. I was trying to protect her. I was trying to show her. But that day, the Lord said to me, don't do that. Work on your ability to communicate love. Work on your ability to help her move forward, to help her become more like Christ, like you are following Christ. You follow me with all your heart and make room for her to do the same. And that's where the journey for transformation began. And so I began to study books and read more about love and focus a lot on the love of God as in the scripture. And as I was doing that, I got a book called Love Never Fails by Kenneth Hagin, read it up, read it again and again. And then I stumbled upon a book called Real Love by Greg Bear, read it, very powerful, spoke to me, spoke to my heart. The things that I've been learning in scriptures that I was practicing, putting in place, he explained them not in scriptural terms, but in just normal secular terms. He's a Christian, and so it resonated with my heart. I understood the basic things there, and since then, the marriage has just grown. Things just changed from that day. We've never had to call someone else to explain to them what we're going through because something shifted that day. As I grew, as I changed, I think my wife also got an interaction with God, and she began to work on herself to grow. And we learned how to communicate. We learned that we needed to deal with our own issues first, the emotions that are there, and to allow the Lord to flow through us. So fast forward a few years after, many years after, we've had to move towns. We've had to go through a stroke. So I had a stroke in 2017, and when I had a stroke, I couldn't move my right side. And in the hospital there, the Lord was reminding me of all the things that He had taught me about love, and I learned to trust God. So learning about God's love for another automatically helps you to learn about God's love for you. It's just amazing how this works. As you begin to work on yourself, when you learn that first step, that if I'm filled with God's love and I'm following God properly, my wife will be blessed automatically. When that came and I began to follow God's love, I began to feel God's love for me so much, and I was able to transfer that to her. And I could see God using her to bless me while I was at the hospital. I could see myself trusting in God that whatever the case will be, I will be better off eventually. But there's something that happened that I want to share with you about that. I was in Nigeria then. There are so many religious people in Nigeria who just assume that when you are with God, no bad things happen. No, nothing bad will happen. And so this guy called me a doctor and says, you said you are a pastor, right? I said yes. Then he said, what is it that you have done wrong that made you to have this stroke? How come you are having a stroke? What did you do wrong? And while I was while he was saying that, my wife was there, and she was really upset with him that why would he say that? But while he was saying that, the Lord just helped me. The same principle that I'm sharing with you opened my eyes, just poured love into my heart. I look at this man, he's so unaware of God's love, so unaware of how God operates. And I was able to conclude that, Lord, if you let me go through this, let me hear this man say this to me when I'm just going through a difficult time. There must be a reason why. And I was able to trust God, not be mad at him for the process. And I'm glad that I can share this story with you now because it's helping you maybe. All right. So it's a blessing. It was a blessing, and years have passed since then, 2017 to now, about 7 years, and I'm still going forward. And all the situations have happened as a pastor and a leader. In 2020, we decided to shift the way we do church from just meeting in big groups to meeting in small groups so that we can practice the love of God more. Now, you can imagine a lot of people don't like that. When you bring them to smaller groups, it means they're going to have to interact more, stay in the homes. And so there was a lot of pushback, a lot of negative reactions and responses. It was still this love of God that helped me. Now, my passion for the church was to help everybody grow the way I've grown. But they didn't understand that. And so I had to go through the same training again. You just keep growing in you, keep learning to love like me, and everyone around you will be impacted. So this is a very crucial point. It's what all that I teach is about. You love like Jesus, you have mega impact. You focus on learning to love like Jesus. Focus on the fact that God put this woman in your life for a reason, and there's absolutely no reason on earth why you would divorce her. No reason, no reason. And that means you're going to work hard then to make sure that the marriage works well. With that in mind, you're going to see some transformations. So this is the story that I've experienced, and I want to hear your story. I want to be part of that story, where you'll be able to say, I spoke with Adi and light bulb came, and I can't remember what Adi said, but my life has changed. I don't mind that. That's what I'm praying for. That's why I do this. The end goal is for you to be more impactful as a believer. That's why my motto, the name of our website is Mega Impact Academy. The name of the business is Mega Impact Academy, and you see my t-shirt is Mega Impact, because the goal is not good marriage. That is a byproduct. The real goal is mega impact. In other words, you make more disciples who make more disciples who make more disciples. And who are your first disciples? The ones in your home. The ones in your home. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord strengthen you. And may the Lord continue to grant you much grace. I thank you, everyone who subscribed to this channel. I celebrate you. Thank you for believing in me and for choosing to work with me. And I look forward to impacting you beyond what you can imagine in the next year. All right. So that's it for now. Until we meet again tomorrow. It is from me here. Continue to love like Jesus and make mega impact. Bye for now.